Does the county have any options regarding the company and plant that makes Ripon Good Cookies? ConAgra announcing it's closing that plant, phasing it out between September and the end of the year. Joining us on the final segment of the show, Fond du Lac County Executive Al Buechel. Good morning, Al.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So yesterday we had the Fond du Lac County Economic Development Corporation president on the show. We had the Ripon Chamber director on the show. They're going to be meeting to talk about this, but I've asked everybody this question, so I'll ask you the same question. Did you have any inkling this was coming?
Absolutely none. And as of yesterday afternoon, when I talked to Steve Jenkins, there's still nothing official from the company.
What do you make of that? Because Steve Jenkins said on this show that it may be a ploy, that he was wondering if ConAgra in this case was doing this and stating this, trying to get maybe concessions from the workers or from the county or the state. Well, I mean, he didn't know, but he was, thinking out loud about why wouldn't they contact the county? Why wouldn't they contact FCEDC?
I don't have those answers. And if there'd been something confirmed, I think I would have heard about it by now. So there is a belief that this probably came out through the workers. Perhaps the union. It's just a supposition. I'm sure there's something there. This is not made up completely. If it had been, ConAgra would have been out with their own press releases, saying that it's wrong. So, the job number may not be accurate. The loss, any of a number of things could be inaccurate. We just don't know. The other thing is when a company cuts back a plant like that, they have to notify the state if it's over 50 jobs, and it's over 50 jobs. So we haven't been made aware that they've contacted the state and gave notice either. So
would the state notify you?
Well, actually, ConAgra should, because I'm the chief elected official of the county.
Are they required to notify you?
Yes. They notify the state, and then they must notify the local employer.
Oh, and they haven't done that yet.
If it's over 50 jobs, and if it's permanent, not for a layoff because of seasonal or those types of things, but if it's permanent job cuts because of a plant closing. As an example, when we closed Rolling Meadows Nursing Home, that affected 100 employees. We had to notify the state, and of course, technically, I had to notify myself.
What do you make of? What do you think's going on here?
I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. If they are using this as a ploy, I mean, that's good news for the people that work there. It's good news for the whole county. I have no idea what's going on. I'm hoping we can salvage them, but they have not approached us. I would have heard something by now. I talked to the mayor last night of Ripon. He's on the county board, Gary Will. He's heard nothing. So we're just waiting for something official from ConAgra, and then we'll respond to it. We sure don't want to lose them. I mean, as I heard Mr. Farrell say, they're an icon over in Ripon, and we want to save them if we can. But as of this point, we don't know what to do. Somebody yells wolf, but nobody's seen the wolf here. It probably is a wolf, but we haven't found him yet. So I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. I sort of pride myself on keeping a bit of a thumb on the pulse, but this one has absolutely escaped me.
Have you ever had a situation like this before?
No.
Regarding?
No, I've got notifications of closings in the past, and it surprised me, but that was the first I heard. It wasn't in the media yet. Hadn't gotten out there, so I don't know. And just for the record, I don't have any other plant closings that I got information.
That's good to hear.
Yes. I hope we can save ConAgra. This is a bad situation when you pull that many jobs out of a county in the Ripon community. Certainly Alliance Laundry is going to be adding 150 by the end of the year, or in that time period. When they bring it, they just had a piece of their press. Its 319,000 pound unit was delivered to Ripon, I think, early last week to add their new line in their new expansion. So that'll take about 150 workers sometime later this year. So that'll help, but we're hoping to gain ground on our present employment as opposed to just making up jobs that are lost. So I really hope there's something we can do. And if you know, and I know there are people who are trying to reach out to ConAgra management, and as far as I'm aware of, no one has yet made a contact.
That is really weird. I don't know what to make of that. All right, I was expecting you to say that you had been able to make contact, so I'm kind of caught off guard here by the fact that county officials still don't, kind of in the dark. I mean,
Right.
just that's interesting.
That could be good or bad, and
Right.
it's just a way to read this thing.
Right. All
You know,
right.
if it were a rumor, that would have been. I'm sure the ConAgra would have responded, saying it's a rumor and there's no truth to it. So I'm thinking there's something going on, and if Mr. Jenkins is right, you know, it could just be strategy. But I think, you know, they probably are going to look for concessions from the union if they do stay. So that's probably, and then of course this is a sort of a quote-unquote negotiating ploy if that's the case. But Mercury was up front with their union. I mean, they didn't just announce they're leaving for Oklahoma. I mean, they talked to their union and said this is what we're faced with. And
they began negotiations right off the bat.
Right.
I mean, I don't even, did they approach you, or I mean, that was handled completely differently.
Yes. They were given their task to close one of the two plants earlier in the year, and by the time it became the union meetings were in some early summer. So, but I and city and other officials were aware of it prior to the actual union meetings. But a whole lot was going on to save them before they ever went with the union. But still, it was not a negotiating ploy. It was just they just said this is the way it is, and we have to move forward. So,
all right.
At this point, I'm at a loss of what happens, and I apologize for that. But until I hear from them,
that's a story in and of itself.
Yes.
All right. Al Buechel, Fond du Lac County Executive, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's good to be with you.